poets.
This neighborhood has too many rats. They intimidate and beat up our cats. They give me anxiety and cause impropriety, but when run over, make artistic splats.
I get to look into the hearts and souls of strangers.
I'm unable to get sad about national tragedies, and I really wish I could.
I'll be reading it and holding them in my heart and thinking about them.
In return, she gets to feel human connection in a world growing increasingly distant.
What sort of person would go through the trouble of writing this beautiful poem and doing this gorgeous watercolor only to leave it in the not mailbox of a total stranger without knowing what's ever going to happen to it? What a gorgeous humanity we are.
In Brighton, I'm Mike Sullivan, WBZ News.
A New England winter tradition returns today. The New Hampshire ice castles are opening. Crews have been working around the clock over the Christmas holiday to put the finishing touches on this year's castle. This year marks the earliest date ever that the castles have been opened in North Woodstock. They open up at 11 o'clock this morning, and they will have extended hours over the holiday break.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
So
So beautiful. Of course, it's been unseasonably cold for all of December, at least down here. And Jason, I'd imagine up there as well.
Absolutely. Here from my friends, we are expecting another storm to move in overnight tonight. And in case all the snow and also the ice that we're going to be expecting over the next few hours or so, at least the next few days, in an Arctic air mass, we are talking about snow chances ramping up across the Worcester County area and also the Boston area beginning past dinner time overnight tonight. So we do have that next weather alert in effect. We'll pick things up from there coming up on the stream. A few morning flakes likely for us again tomorrow. And as we start to look at Sunday into Monday, unfortunately, yet another system will likely be moving on in. This one has a bit of a second act that's going to be different than the first one here.
All right, Jason, thanks. And thank you for joining us here on WBZ. Our newscast continues at 7 on our streaming service. That's CBS News Boston. You can watch as well on WBZ.com.
Here on WBZ, CBS Mornings starts right now. Have a great day.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News Mornings.
Right now on CBS News Boston, friends, we have a next weather alert in effect for overnight and also morning snow for the region. We'll talk about the latest information and the forecast for the final days of 2025.
Controversy in Dedham, a nativity scene will stay in place after another group inserts itself into the conversation.
And the Pats' battle for the top seed in the AFC continues Sunday against the Jets. We'll tell you how the Broncos fared on Christmas night.
Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. Today is Friday, December 26th. I'm Anna Myler.
And I'm Chris Tanaka. We do wake up in this next weather alert. We've got some snow inbound overnight. Sunrise looks good, but a different picture later tonight. Jason Michael is here with your next weather forecast.
And
Jason.
we're going to be so busy here, Chris and Anna here, talking about the final days of 2025 going out with a bang here. We're talking about snow showers developing late into the evening and also the overnight hours. We'll have some few morning flakes, mainly for the South Shore and the Cape by tomorrow morning. A decent end to our Saturday, but by Sunday night to early Monday, we're watching another system poised to move on in. This will likely be beginning for the first act as freezing rain and snow, and the second act, drenching rain, taking us from Sunday night through Monday as well. Here's the latest numbers on our first system that we're watching again overnight tonight. Lesser amounts of snow north and also east of Boston. This is likely going to be gobbling up the Merrimack Valley, coating up to an inch of snow. Now again, the farther south and also west you are, the greatest chance of getting some accumulating snow. It's actually going to be light and pretty fluffy there, but I think it's likely going to be limiting visibility by the start of it, and then we'll allow for some drier air to punch in once we get past midnight tonight. But Rhode Island and Connecticut will certainly be getting anywhere between 3 to 6 inches, at least a half foot of snow, likely west of Hartford again overnight tonight. This is tonight's storm system. Notice the features of this storm system: freezing rain, some sleet, some snow, and also some drenching rain now beginning to crawl out of the Lake Michigan region and also push towards Michigan, the state of Michigan, and in and of itself. We are pretty clear as of right now. It is very cold outside. We had that gusty Arctic front that moved through yesterday We were talking about 30 to 40 plus mile per hour gusts. We're right around the 20s as of right now. But as we move into the afternoon, winds are going to be coming lighter. Clouds are going to be thickening up. And that snow is going to be developing and pushing on in here, Chris.
All right, sounds good, Jason. Let's check out your travel times this morning. The roads are fine. You can see the drive times into the city from every direction are about as good as they can get. However, we do have some issues on the rails. We've got 15-minute delays on the Blue Line and Orange Line from Wonderland and Oak Grove, respectively. Also on the commuter rail, the Fitchburg line and the Framingham-Worcester line, both of those have delays up to 25 minutes. So if you're taking public transportation, heads up.
Well, a nativity scene in Dedham is still standing after Christmas, despite weeks of debate over the message. And now the Archbishop of Boston says they will meet with the priest who displayed the controversial ice nativity scene in Dedham.
Yeah, our Penny Commit is live in Dedham. She's got the community response.
Chris, Anna, this controversial nativity scene is at St. Susanna's Parish in Dedham, and you'll notice just by one glance that the three main characters are missing: Mary, Jesus, and Joseph. They're replaced by a sign that says "ICE was here." The suggestion, of course, being that they were detained by immigration enforcement agents. Underneath, there's another sign, too, if you'll notice. It reads, "The Holy Family is safe in our church." This was put up right after Thanksgiving, and the Archdiocese has asked Father Stephen Gisoma here to take it down. But Father Gisoma says he won't until he has a meeting with the Boston Archbishop, Bishop Richard Henning, which is now scheduled for January. There was no mention of the controversy during the Christmas Day Mass here, but Father Gisoma did emphasize the importance of keeping their doors open.
If you go to a family's house this day and they ask you where you went to Mass and you mention St. Susanna's, you might get a look. Just say, "It's so good to see you. Thanks for the welcome." Give them a big hug.
The Catholic Action League is now responding this morning. They're calling the decision to meet after Christmas, quote, "a capitulation by the Archdiocese and a victory for a dissident priest with a long history of using his parish church as his personal political soapbox." ICE officials have been made aware of this nativity scene. They have called for its removal. They say it is abhorrent. Live in Dedham, I'm Penny Commit, WBZ News.
All right, Penny, thanks for that update. A driver's in custody after police say they were driving the wrong way on the highway last night. State police got reports of a vehicle going south on the northbound side of 95 up in Newburyport right around 9:30. Police say the driver went through several communities before being stopped and taken into custody. The driver was actually taken to the hospital.
And Cambridge police are investigating a shooting that sent 2 people to the hospital on Christmas. Officers were at the scene on Howard Street for hours. Police say they responded to a report of a fight just before 3:30 in the morning. They found 2 people who had been shot. One of them is in serious condition, and we're told the other person has non-life-threatening injuries. Well, a Christmas morning fire in Dorchester leaves 3 people without a home. The flames broke out in a home on Washington Street, and when crews got there, they found smoke and flames coming from the house. No one was hurt. There's no word yet on a cause.
Well, President Trump says a Christmas Day strike against Islamic State forces in Nigeria was, quote, powerful and deadly.
And this follows weeks of accusations from the president, who says the West African country is failing to rein in the persecution of Christians. CBS's Kamal Afzali has the latest from London.
Good morning, Chris and Anna. Last month, President Trump ordered the Pentagon to begin preparing for possible military action in Nigeria after accusing the government of failing to stop violence against Christians. As for what happened last night, we still don't know what was specifically targeted, how many people were killed, or even how many strikes were carried out. Numerous perfect strikes were the only words the president used to describe US military action against Islamic State militants in Nigeria late Thursday. This unclassified video by the Department of Defense came after a post on Trump's Truth Social. The strike targeted ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians, he wrote. Video shot in northwest Nigeria's Sokoto state appears to show locals holding metal debris, part of a projectile, and a fire burning in the background. US African Command said that strikes were carried out in coordination with Nigerian authorities. a point echoed by Nigeria's foreign ministry in a statement acknowledging the strikes.
They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers.
The Trump administration has for months highlighted the alleged persecution of Christians in Nigeria, but experts say both Christians and Muslims have suffered at the hands of extremist groups in the West African country. The military action in Nigeria came as Ukraine marked Christmas, counting its dead and injured following overnight strikes that began on Christmas Eve. But Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky tried to keep the momentum on peace talks, speaking for nearly an hour with US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and the president's son-in-law Jared Kushner. May today's conversation become another step toward peace, Zelensky said in a statement. Now, there's been no comment from the White House on that conversation, but according to Zelensky, it yielded new ideas for meetings and timings on how to bring a, quote, real peace closer. And this morning on X, he said he agreed on a meeting with President Trump, writing, "A lot can be decided before the new year." Kamal Afzali, WBZ News.
Well, today marks the beginning of Kwanzaa. The African-American holiday goes through January 1st. A professor of Pan-African Studies at Cal State University created the holiday back in 1966. He designed it as a way for African Americans to reconnect with ancestral roots by celebrating African culture. There are 7 nights of Kwanzaa and 7 defining principles: unity, self-determination, collective responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. WBZ is your home for the Patriots, and the team will get back to work today after having Christmas off.
They're preparing to face the Jets on Sunday and looking toward the playoffs. Levin joins us now in the studio with his good luck sweater.
Yes, it's my good luck sweater. It even has my name on it. You know, it's been good listening to the players the last couple of days. The mantra from the locker room has been, yeah, we made the playoffs, whoop-de-doo. To a man, they say they have bigger fish to fry, and they need to keep moving forward. As the team took to the practice field, getting ready for this game against the New York Jets, they know a win on Sunday, and they can clinch the AFC East. That's another stepping stone that they're looking to get over. Also, the players gave a ton of praise to head coach Mike Vrabel. They said, Coach set a tone of how things were going to be way back in training camp, and now it's all paying off.
I respect him for wanting to coach us hard and wanting to win, and that's what he's doing every day in this building. And he's carrying the same moxie and swagger, and he's not going to change. And we really, we love that about Coach. And we know he's going to coach us hard, but we know he wants the best for us, and that's what's been needed, and that's what continue to work. And like I said, at the end of the year, don't let it dip, and keep finding that same edge. And
hey, a quick shout out to. Shout out to Derek, Avani, Dominus, and Darian at Hamlet Middle School in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. My wife Mary said, "Who wants to make Levin an ugly sweater?" And these 4 said, "Hold my loose leaf binder."
It is so good.
Yes, it's so good.
I love the bow on the back.
There's a bow on the back?
Yes.
I keep fiddling with it because I'm afraid, there's lights, and I mean, they're in middle school, so it can light on fire at any point in time.
They did an amazing job.
They did a great job.
Though.
They did a
that
wonderful
is not
job.
even an ugly sweater.
No, it's not. It's a fantastic looking sweater. And by the way, we have a lot of lights here. It's so warm. It's unbelievably warm. You would be surprised at how warm this sweater is.
Levin, if the Pats look this good on Sunday, they'll win by 30.
And by the way, and again, I want to say I want them to win by 30, but I'm not wearing it just because like a good luck sweater.
Right.
I'm not wearing it to keep going because it's just warm.
I was going to say
if they do.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Back. You have to keep it on for the rest of the season.
If we're outside, yes.
All right, Patriots Fridays from here on out.
Okay.
We've got at least 2 more of them.
We got at least 2 more of these?
So.
Yeah.
We'll think about it.
And it'll be in January.
Chris, I'm thinking every day.
Could you imagine?
Not just
that
Fridays.
Might be a little much.
By the way, if when they get to the playoffs, I'm sure I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm bringing it up when they get to the playoffs.
All right, looking good, Lev.
Thank you.
We have you covered this holiday weekend. You can catch Patriots All Access tonight at 7 here on WBZ. We're taking you behind the scenes as sports director Steve Burton goes one-on-one with rookie wide receiver Kyle Williams. And on Sunday, tune into Patriots Game Day at 11:30. Also on WBZ, the Pats and the Jets are kicking off at 1. Then after the game, flip it over to TV 38 for the 5th quarter postgame show.
All right, so the Pats are chasing the Broncos for the top seed in the AFC, and last night the Broncos tightened their grip on it. It was the late game of the NFL slate on Christmas Day, visiting the Chiefs in Kansas City. Tied at 13, under 2 minutes to go. There you have it, Bo Nix to R.J. Harvey. Broncos hold on to win 20-13. They are now 13-3 on the season. All right, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, Santa may streak through the sky, but he can't speed on the roads, where Kris Kringle's pulled over by the cops.
WBZ's Next Weather Alert is brought to you by Safety Insurance.
Just about 7:15. Look at that shot. Those colors are impossible. Beautiful look at the city. Jason, it's going to look entirely different later tonight.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about another snowstorm here, Chris. This will likely bring some very minor impacts in and around the Boston area, but I think the timeline will actually kind of work to our favor here. We're waking up again this morning with temperatures feeling sub-zero. Unfortunately here, my friends, it is a very cold start to the morning, courtesy of that Arctic front that moved through yesterday. That's actually why we got those gusty winds that moved through the region. Here's the thing. What we know as of right now, snow will likely be developing west, pushing to the east right around dinner time later this evening, spilling over to about midnight, depending on your location. Areas central and also southern Massachusetts will likely get the brunt of the storm here. Coastline communities, it's going to be likely trickling closer towards midnight through about 3 a.m. for you, but more dry air moving back in. Behind this system, we're going to be largely dry for the remainder of our Saturday afternoon tomorrow. And then as we look towards Sunday afternoon through the evening hours, not only will clouds begin to thicken up, but we're already also going to begin to see more snow and potentially freezing rain moving in. So 2025 is going to be a very interesting end to the year here. Heavy amounts of snow will be down towards Connecticut and perhaps even closer towards Rhode Island there. Western Mass will likely get anywhere between 3 and also 6 inches. Inside 495, closer to 95, and certainly the Boston metro region will likely be anywhere between 1 and also 2 to 3 inches. Upwards of about a coating up to an inch of snow across areas north of the city. And as we look towards Essex County, you're also expecting around an inch of snow as well. This is a very messy system. It's already causing a lot of issues across Michigan as well. Southern Canada is also picking up some extra energy. On the south side of this storm here, we have a little bit of freezing rain mixing on in as well. I think all of that activity, at least for the freezing rain perspective, will be outside of the Commonwealth. Let's talk about the winds. They're going to be dialing back down as we move towards the afternoon and the evening hours, roughly about 5 to 10 miles per hour and calm north of the state line. Pushing past 5 p.m. later this evening, we'll get a punch of energy coming in with the start of the storm, and then lesser amounts of snow is going to be kind of blowing around once we get towards the tail end of the storm system. Again, the heart of it will be outside of the Commonwealth. We're talking about down towards New York. We're going to have the center of that storm. But the sort of north fringes of the storm will still be blowing some light, fluffy snow, at least through about sunrise for tomorrow morning. We'll have a healthy dose of clouds, at least for the first half of our Saturday, and then we'll likely get some filtered sunshine by the finish here. Winds are dialing back already, still gusting around 30 miles per hour on the Cape, but feels like temperatures are really suffering again this morning, down to about 0, it feels like, on the South Shore. Daytime highs, unfortunately, will not be greeting us with any sort of warmth. We're only going to be topping out around the mid to lower 20s all throughout southern New England there. As we get that system moving on out, another system begins to move on in as well. This is going to be a sizable system, even larger, and also with greater impacts. I'm still thinking that the timeline of this storm system will also work to our favor. We begin with some snow showers and freezing rain by Sunday evening around 9 to midnight, and then warmer air will begin to move back in. So we begin not only our Monday with drenching rain, but a lot of those rain showers will be continuing throughout the region there, with temperatures warming up steadily throughout the overnights. So as we look towards our Monday and Tuesday of next week, we actually begin a bit more with the warmest day of the next 7 days. On Monday, mid-40s for afternoon highs, 30s greeting us here on Tuesday. New Year's Eve will likely still be in the mid to lower 30s with some sun and clouds mixed on in. And as we say hello to 2026, it's going to be cold, but we'll also have a little bit of sunshine. Highs in the upper 20s, Chris.
Wow. All right, Jason, thanks. Well, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a longtime critic of vaccines, made some controversial impacts on the nation's public health this year. Michael George has that, plus other medical news that made headlines in 2025.
RFK Jr. reshaped the CDC's vaccine advisory panel, which then voted to limit recommendations on shots for COVID-19, influenza, MMR, chickenpox, and hepatitis B. The new CDC director says she was fired less than a month after her confirmation because she wouldn't rubber stamp the recommendations.
If vaccine protections are weakened, preventable diseases will return.
280 children died from the flu last season, the highest number since 2009. Nearly 90% of those cases involved children who were not fully vaccinated. The CDC changed its website. Despite overwhelming scientific evidence that vaccines do not cause autism, an asterisk was added, stating studies have not ruled out the possibility that infant vaccines cause autism. RFK and President Trump also told the country that pregnant women should not take acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol, because it may cause autism.
Don't take Tylenol.
The FDA no longer required black box warnings on many menopause hormone therapy treatments. The agency also ordered food manufacturers to phase out petroleum-based food dyes.
For companies that are currently using petroleum-based red dye, try watermelon juice.
The U.S. Surgeon General issued a warning. Alcohol consumption is the third leading preventable cause of cancer after tobacco and obesity, increasing the risk for at least 7 cancers. Former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer, and a report by the American Cancer Society found rates of prostate cancer increased after years of declines. Additional ACS findings showed an increase in cancer related to obesity, including breast, pancreas, and kidney cancers, and in people under age 50.
That's certainly a topic for more research. I don't think we have a clear answer of that.
The number of adults in their late 40s getting screened for colorectal cancer skyrocketed after age guidelines for screening were lowered to start at 45. A scary year for parents. Dozens of babies were hospitalized after a botulism outbreak in infant formula. A long-term analysis published in The Lancet found ultra-processed foods are fueling chronic disease worldwide.
Focus on having 2 to 3 real meals a day, so whole foods, not ultra-processed foods.
Researchers also found excessive screen time could be putting kids' heart health at risk, and owning a smartphone before age 12 could increase depression, obesity, and insufficient sleep. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Well, the picture of Santa, white beard, rosy cheeks, belly that shakes like a bowl full of jelly. Now, police in Ohio say he's also got a lead foot. Some body cam video showing Santa and Mrs. Claus being pulled over for speeding last weekend. The officer who stopped them had no idea who was in the car until he saw, well, there you go, Mr. and Mrs. Claus in the vehicle. He decided to let them go with just a friendly reminder, unlike the reindeer, to slow down when in a vehicle. Hey, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, good things come in small packages. We'll show you the local hospital where all of these special deliveries are spreading holiday joy. Well, Santa wasn't the only one making some special deliveries this Christmas. Look at these newborns at St. Vincent Hospital in Worcester. They celebrated their first Christmas in style, dressed up in some very adorable festive outfits, had their own teddy bears next to them. The nurses at St. V's say the tiny trendsetters brought joy and warmth, plenty of smiles to the nursery during the holiday season. The nurses are angels themselves. All right, coming up next, Pope Leo delivers his first Christmas Day message from the Vatican. We'll tell you what he had to say.
You're watching WBZ News.
Hey, the world's first American-born Pope delivered his first Christmas Day message from the Vatican. Pope Leo XIV called for peace, justice, and stability during his first Christmas homily at St. Peter's Basilica. He condemned what he called the rubble and open wounds left behind by wars, singling out the dire humanitarian situation in Gaza. The Pope also challenged followers of the Catholic Church to not be indifferent to suffering. Still to come in our next half hour, the Patriots could be shorthanded when they take on the Jets this Sunday. ESPN's Mike Reese joins Steve Burton to discuss the Pats' penultimate regular season game.
CBS News Boston is now streaming live on our YouTube channel every morning from 7 to 10 a.m. So if you're watching us streaming on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channel, CBS News Boston. Now, streaming on CBS News Boston, WBZ News Mornings continues with your top stories.
Light snow expected to move into the region overnight tonight. Let's talk about the timeline and the potential impacts for your Friday night.
A man trapped when a building collapses. We'll tell you how crews were able to rescue him. And the number of travelers returning home from the holidays now that Christmas is in the rear view mirror. Welcome back. Thanks for being with us. I'm Chris Tanaka. Let's take a look outside. We're going to get a check of that next weather forecast with Jason Michael. Sunrise is beaming, Jason, but the moonrise will be obscured by snow.
Absolutely, it will here. And we are going to be ending our Friday night here with some chances of snow moving into the region here, friends. Let's start out talking about what the impacts will likely be later on this evening. 1 to 3 inches of light snow, slick and also slippery travel conditions overnight tonight as well. Here's a look at some of the forecast numbers across the board. Heavier amounts of snow south and also west of town later on this evening, down towards Rhode Island and also Connecticut. It's going to be ramping up. Certainly, if you're going to be down towards the Hartford region, if you have family and friends down there, notice the travel conditions and travel woes there. Inside the 495 belt closer to Boston, lesser amounts of snow. 1 to a couple inches of snow could be expected there, and even lighter once you move to the North Shore as well. Overnight tonight, what we do know is snow is going to be developing west, pushing to east. 7 p.m. closer to midnight. Coastline communities around midnight to 3 a.m., so we'll watch for that. And after the storm system, morning flakes on Saturday will likely allow for some drier conditions and clearer skies into Saturday afternoon, some peaks of sunshine. But by Sunday night, threatening the region will likely begin as freezing rain and snow, and then transition over towards drenching rain by Monday of next week. So a very interesting end to the 2025 calendar year. Increasing clouds again, likely moving towards western Mass and central Mass at this hour. Winds are still gusty here in the city. They're going to be climbing to around 30 to 35 miles per hour for the Cape and the Islands, but then lightening up the burden as we move towards the 7 p.m. hour, coming out of the north on the north side of that storm system. We'll talk much more about the potential impacts and look at that snow moving into the region around 11 p.m. tonight here, Chris. We'll pick things up from there coming up in the full weather forecast.
Oh boy. All right, Jason, thanks for that. Well, 3 people are dead, 11 others injured from a Russian drone strike in Ukraine on Christmas. Officials say they managed to stop 106 of 131 drones fired by Russia on Christmas. The others hit several areas, including a residential building, a market, and a port. Now, these attacks followed a Christmas Eve message from Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky. He addressed his nation, wishing them to share one dream and asking for peace. Well, one person was seriously hurt after a building partially collapsed in Providence. Officials say this happened at an abandoned mill on Manton Avenue yesterday morning. Crews worked to free a man from the debris. He was taken to the hospital with some serious injuries. Inspectors are trying to figure out what caused the collapse. Well, for many families in Boston, the holiday fun doesn't end when all the gifts are unwrapped. People got into the spirit in all sorts of ways. WBZ's Samantha Cheney shows us how people of all faiths spent the holiday.
Christmas Day looks different for everyone.
We try to find some place to sing Christmas carols.
My wife and I came in to see my elderly father, who's 93 now.
I live in Manhattan, so I'm back home in Brookline, which is where I grew up.
While many people are home, gathered around the Christmas tree and unwrapping gifts.
We're Jewish, and we celebrate Hanukkah, so on Christmas Day, it's our tradition to go to a movie.
And this year, a lot of people are spending it here at the Coolidge Corner Theater, seeing films like Marty Supreme on opening day.
Movies are really important. I think they bring people together.
And tomorrow we're going to see Blue Moon.
It's sort of a tradition here in Brookline, and when folks are done watching a good flick, many of them grab some Chinese takeout.
Chinese food in a movie would be a traditional Jewish Christmas for my family.
We always broke Passover with Chinese food. After Thanksgiving, Chinese food.
Golden Temple on Beacon Street is a go-to spot.
Yes, I like this restaurant. Boneless spare ribs, lobster sauce.
We come probably every year on Christmas for Chinese food. It's kind of our tradition.
Merry Christmas. One that's cherished on a day when togetherness means everything.
It's nice to be cozy and create memories and be able to talk about it for, years to come.
In Brookline, Samantha Cheney, WBZ News.
I love it. Hey, more than 122 million Americans will soon make their return trips after celebrating the holidays. AAA says that's expected to be a new record. More than 100 million people drove. Now, if you did that, AAA says the best time to hit the road back anytime before 11 in the morning from today until Tuesday. It is a different story at Logan. Already this morning, we are up to 52 delays and 19 cancellations. These numbers have been going up all morning. The FAA says this is likely going to be the single busiest air travel day of the season. All right, now to the best of BZ. We're revisiting some of our most popular and memorable stories from 2025. Mailboxes are typically filled with bills, flyers, and cards. But as WBZ's Mike Sullivan found out, a mailbox in Brighton has been designed for something entirely different.
Nestled in Brighton lies a mystery, a box not for mail, but for a short list, from thoughts all the way down to lies. I guess this wouldn't count as a secret, more of a written request.
Dear Not Mail, we came by to do a story.
A chance for the owner to explain to us why.
All right, now let's drop it in the box.
This week, we left a note and our number.
Let's see if they answer.
A day later, our note was picked up. This is Gene Powers of Adamson Street, the creator, the listener.
I started this during the pandemic as a way to just kind of connect with strangers.
To hear their thoughts, opinions, poetry, secrets, and lies.
Some of these are jokey. This is two men walking abreast.
She expected crass notes like that.
I didn't quite expect the really heartfelt notes.
The deep, therapeutic confessions from people she doesn't know.
I haven't had a boyfriend in 5 years. I started seeing this guy and it's going really well. Sometimes I'll try to figure it out because I'll be like, well, can I match the note to the person? And I never can. Like the human heart is just such a mystery.
Do you feel like it's a bit of psychology, like you're almost giving them a release?
I think so. I think for some of them.
These are neighbors, city workers, amateur poets.
This neighborhood has too many rats. They intimidate and beat up our cats. They give me anxiety and cause impropriety, but when run over, make artistic splats.
I get to look into the hearts and souls of strangers.
I'm unable to get sad about national tragedies, and I really wish I could.
I'll be reading it and holding them in my heart and thinking about them.
In return, she gets to feel human connection in a world growing increasingly distant.
What sort of person would go through the trouble of like writing this beautiful poem and doing this gorgeous watercolor only to leave it in the not mailbox of a total stranger without knowing what's ever going to happen to it? Like, what a gorgeous humanity we are.
In Brighton, I'm Mike Sullivan, WBZ News.
Hey, it is the perfect time of year to get active indoors or try your hand at a new art project. Brianna Pitts has all the details in this week's to-do list.
Looking for some things to do with the kids this school vacation week? Get the fun started early with the Metropolitan Waterworks Museum.
The historic Chestnut Hill site is holding candy engineering, where kids can get creative with their food, building structures out of gumdrops and other holiday-themed designs. It's perfect for little ones who love to build. It's happening for free Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. On Saturday morning, get your workout on with some adorable company at Park 9 Dog Bar in Everett. It's hosting puppy yoga featuring adoptable dogs from Sweet Paws Rescue. The class goes from 9:45 to 10:45 a.m., followed by pizza and cocktails, plus extra playtime with the pups. Be sure to register in advance. And head to Rosetown Kitchen and Bar in Boston for an evening of festive crafting. An instructor will walk you through making snow globe candles, complete with wintry touches like pine cones and cranberries. The class is 21 plus and runs from 4 p.m. to 5:45 on Sunday.
I'm Brianna Pitts, and that's this week's to-do list.
When we come back, Steve Burton and ESPN's Mike Reese take a look at the key injuries surrounding the Pats and discuss if any of it matters since they're taking on the Jets.
WBZ is sponsored by Citizens. Make sense of your money.
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now. Can we
Welcome back. Live look at Gillette. It's going to remain dark this weekend. Pats are on the road in the Meadowlands, but it's going to be snow covered by this time tomorrow, correct, Jason?
Yes, absolutely here, friends. We're talking about likely getting a couple of inches in and around the area. I think Gillette will likely rake in a couple of inches of snow, 2 to 3 to be exact here. Southwestern Massachusetts is going to take the brunt of this storm system along with Connecticut and even Rhode Island. But first things first, we're waking up with an Arctic air mass upon us here, friends. Sub-zero wind chills, it feels like outside as of right now. We're talking about coastline communities starting to see the first fringes of some snow showers develop right around midnight through about 3, perhaps even 4 a.m. It's going to be a west moving towards east type of system here, northwest moving down to the southeast. So it's going to be a very different snowstorm than what we've received all throughout the month here of December. And as we look at the end of the weekend, Sunday into Monday, we have another dangerous system moving on in. This will likely also look a bit different and also an even larger system as well. Here are the latest numbers. Waking up on this day after Christmas, a coating up to an inch of snow across the North Shore there, 1 to 3 inside the Boston area there, inside 495 belt there. Towards 95, 1 to 3 inches likely there. And as we start to see Western Mass, Rhode Island and Connecticut, we're going to start to see some of those inches go up even further, 3 to 6 inches. Now, as we're talking about conditions outside as of right now, mainly clear skies with thickening clouds later today. Lighter winds begin to move on in. Those winds are going to be coming out of the north, so we're actually going to take our temperatures down yet again. Daytime highs today only topping out in the mid-20s, mid to lower 20s, in fact. We're going to be starting to see some of the snow showers develop around 9 to 10 p.m. later this evening. Drier air will be punching into the center of this storm as it moves off into the Gulf of Maine. Again, the nexus of this storm will be down towards New York as well as portions of Pennsylvania. So we're going to be on the north side. So we're not going to have a whole lot of snow here. It's going to be light and also fluffy. Gusty winds around 25 miles per hour here in the city. As we start to see some of these single digits become sub-zero wind chills across the board there, northerly winds will also be dancing into the region. Daytime highs, again, are going to be likely topping out around the mid to lower 20s here as we see those forecast highs likely being below average yet again. It's been a very interesting month of December, filled with a whole lot of cold and also some blustery winds as well. Saturday night, not too bad across the board there. Sunday, we start to see increasing clouds. Snow showers begin to develop along with freezing rain. Again, this is going to be a fairly large system beginning out with some freezing rain, transitioning over to drenching rain as we wake up on Monday morning through at least midday. Those south winds will be taking over thereafter. So the warmest day of the next 7 will be, of course, on Monday. Below average temperatures closing out the month of December, heading into the early days of January, equal to low chances of getting some upgraded sort of precip across the board there. Equal chances mainly for the Cape and the Islands, drier than normal. Again, watching that system move out into the Gulf of Maine there by the time we get to Saturday night. As we wake up on Sunday morning, more clouds are going to be moving back in and look at it just crawl into the I-95 corridor, beginning again as freezing rain becoming drenching rain by Monday. All this energy is going to be wrapping around, pushing north into Vermont and also New Hampshire and certainly Maine as we wake up on Monday morning. So dangerous travel in and around the area here as we close out the final days of 2025. Blustery winds on tap for us on Tuesday. We bump things back up a little bit for the mid-30s on New Year's Day, but New Year's Eve, but New Year's Day, we're going to be back into the mid-20s for afternoon highs. Again, I want to remind everybody our Weather Watcher Network is a brand new platform. Just go to WBZ.com/WWN and you can find everything you need to know to register there.
All right, Jason, thanks. Hey, the Pats are 1 win away from completing an undefeated road record for the regular season. Take on the Jets this Sunday in the Meadowlands. Our sports director, Steve Burton, and ESPN's Mike Reese discuss some of the key injuries for the Pats heading into the game. Plus, Mike shares his own thoughts on what he thinks the ceiling of the team can be.
Let's take a look at this injury list because right now, I think the bigger question is who's not on it.
Yeah.
But look at these guys. I mean, it's a laundry list.
Yeah, so the two that I'll point out here, Steve, are the concussion protocol guys, Keyshawn Boutte and Jared Wilson. When you're in concussion protocol and you don't practice, probably unlikely or highly unlikely to play in the game. The others, Steve, I think, Robert Spillane is not going to practice this week, according to Mike Vrabel. He most likely won't play in the game. And Kairos Tonga. So those four, I think, are really, don't count on them against the Jets. The others here that are a limited are maybe a little more on the edge. I think Travion Henderson's the one I would highlight because he's also in concussion protocol, but he's further along than where Keishawn Boutte and Jared Wilson are. So it actually,
he was out there with a non-contact jersey.
That's right. That's right. And so they have one more practice this week on Friday, Steve. And if Travion Henderson can clear another hurdle, there's a chance he could play in the game Sunday against the Jets. And if not, they have someone from the practice squad, Elijah Mitchell, that they signed from the Chiefs, was formerly with the 49ers, who they might have to elevate up and right off the bat have him behind Ramondre and Dearness Johnson to give him a little depth at running back.
It's going to be interesting to see who plays and who doesn't. Not that they need everybody against the Jets. All right, Drake May, he put up an MVP-type performance against the Ravens with a career-high 380 yards passing. The guy just lit it up, right? And his first ever fourth-quarter comeback win, the Pats quarterback was asked how important it is to finish strong heading into the playoffs.
It's really important. Coach McDaniels has talked about it to me about improving and getting better in practice as you kind of reach the end of the season and reach the playoff time. You want to feel like you're improving in practice, and guys are practicing hard, and I think that translates to the game. You want to practice well during the week, and you always feel like you play the best when you have a good week of practice. So it's really big on continuing a little winning streak. These last couple of games and head into the playoffs, feeling good about ourselves and feeling like we still got some work to do.
Steady Eddie. Steady Eddie.
Yeah.
Guy doesn't get rattled. I talked to Josh McDaniels this week, and he was talking about Drake May and how he just stays calm. Whether he throws a touchdown pass or an interception, he's right there.
And you know what's interesting? This is great, Steve. Great insight that you bring from Josh McDaniels, because talking to Drake and the fellow quarterbacks, they say how calm Josh McDaniels is on the headset, during the games. And I think the combination
between the two,
you were on this early, like back in the spring. I remember you talking about this, how good Josh would be for Drake, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what'd you think of Drake in this last game in the fourth quarter?
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I mean, you've seen a guy grow up right before your eyes, right? And the way he just calm, poised, could see the field. Things happening all around him, stepped up in the pocket, always looking downfield, throwing on the run, throwing off platform. Phenomenal. Nothing
seems to rattle him.
That's right.
And I think for me, my biggest takeaway, Steve, from this last game is when Drake May plays like he did in the clutch, from 12:44 mark of the fourth quarter to the end of the game. Like, special things are possible for this team. Like, if we're talking about like where they are right now, Steve, I'm not putting a ceiling on what they can do if Drake plays like that. I mean, that touchdown pass to Kyle Williams
was phenomenal.
I mean, it's like a
dumped it right in the bucket.
I mean, like,
and Williams made a great catch too, because he had, he was double covered.
How about the 4th and 2 throw to Diggs? What did you think of that?
Because it was dead accurate. Because if it was any later, that could have been picked off.
Was it me, or was there smoke coming off that ball when it was coming out?
Absolutely. Diggs made a great catch. Picked up the first down.
That's right.
But this guy is just so calm.
Yeah.
And now he's got his team believing.
Yes.
That if we get behind, we can always come back, even in the fourth quarter.
Wow. Hey, coming up after the break, we'll tell you about the hour-long special airing this weekend about the lasting impact of Latin music.
You're watching WBZ News.
Hey, the stars of Wicked are moving from the box office to big box stores, and the legends of Latin music are coming together for a television special. Gwen Baumgartner has your eye on entertainment.
Tonight we join the Grammys to celebrate something both of us truly love. Latin music, ¿verdad?
The kickoff to award season is beginning on a high note. This weekend, music lovers can watch and sing along during the television special, A Grammy Celebration of Latin Music. The 2-hour special is meant to showcase the lasting impact of Latin music and pay tribute to legendary artists. Gloria Estefan and Michael Bublé are just some of the musicians taking the stage. A Grammy Celebration of Latin Music airs this Sunday on CBS and Paramount+. Fans are getting a first look at the upcoming Marvel film, Avengers: Doomsday. The new trailer offers few details about the plot, but teases a return of Steve Rogers, portrayed by actor Chris Evans. Disney plans to release 3 more trailers in the coming weeks. But hold tight, the premiere of Avengers: Doomsday is nearly a year away. This week, artist Banksy, known for his anonymity, unveiled his latest piece. The street art appeared on a wall in West London and features 2 children staring up at the sky. And take a look at this magical and musical edition from Mattel. Glinda and Elphaba dolls from the movie Wicked for Good. The hit film continues to put a spell on the box office with global success. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Hey, be sure to stay with CBS News Boston throughout the day for updates on breaking news and your next weather forecast.
Oh, today is the coldest day of the next 7, everybody. Before we have overnight snow moving into the region, a coating up to a couple inches of snow in and around the Boston area. Heavier amounts of snow down towards Rhode Island and also Connecticut. So we have a next weather alert in effect for the overnight snow. We start to warm things up here steadily over the next few days or so. Overnight freezing rain mixed with drenching rain between Sunday night and Monday of next week here, Chris.
All right, Jason, thanks. Hey, our top story. This is tough. A Christmas morning fire in Dorchester left 3 people without a place to stay. These flames broke out in a home on Washington Street. When crews got there, they found smoke, flames coming from the house. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but no word yet on a cause of that. If you're watching us on CBS News Boston, we'll be back after a quick break. CBS Mornings continues on WBZ.